Hello everyone, it's Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie, and today we are going to make an adorable fall card using the Coming Home stamp set and the dies, so the bundle actually. I'll make sure I got my volume turned down on my iPad so I can share my video. I want to remind you tomorrow is the last day to reserve your space in the Wonder of Christmas virtual stamping. So I hope you will go and sign up for this so you can come along and have a great time. We're going to have 10 separate videos, one for each card. We're going to do a live event on the 24th. You'll be put into a Facebook group where only the participants are members. We're going to do some extra demonstrations during the lives with gift wrap ideas, scrapbook page ideas, and we're going to have Prize Patrol. Who doesn't love Prize Patrol? I do. Prize Patrol is great. So I hope you will join us for this. Like I said, tomorrow is the last day to reserve your space and pay for your class. The event is $60, and from that $60, $40 of that is going to be current product in your holiday swag bag. So I hope you will join us. I will put the link where to sign up in the post after I get done with the video. All right, so we're going to use the Coming Home bundle, and as you can see, the Coming Home stamp set does not have any sentiments is what I'm trying to say, and it's not coming out. It doesn't have any sentiments. So we had to borrow a sentiment from the Banner Year stamp set, and we're going to be using Happy Fall, y'all, because it's just super cute. All right, so here is the card. What do you think? Look at all those little leaves that I made using the sequins for everything. I just thought it was adorable. I wanted to use that Coming Home bundle, and I hadn't used those sequins for everything yet, and so this was the perfect way to use them. All right, I'm going to set the card here, and then we will get started. I'm just noticing I don't have the full screen here, so I'm going to see if I can zoom out just a little bit. Give me just a second. It won't let me zoom out, so I'm just going to move the camera just a little bit because I don't have any of my info there, and I want you to be able to see that info in case you need any of it. All right. So, hi Lois, hi Diana. Thanks for joining. I apologize for moving the camera there. All right, so the first thing we have to do is a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I used Whisper White Thick. I've been trying to use thick cardstock for my card bases with the Whisper White, although regular Whisper White works fine too. But for some reason, I'm just enjoying the Whisper White Thick. So I start out by I put my foam mat down because I'm using the photopolymer stamps, and even though I'm not using a solid image, it just seemed to stamp better using this. So we're going to start with Smoky Slate ink, and we're just going to start with that house image. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp off once on the paper, and then we're going to stamp it really lightly onto the card to make our background. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight or anything like that. We're just going to kind of do them just in rows, but again, doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm not using the Stamparatus for that reason, because most of it's going to be covered anyway, but at least whoever gets the card knows, hey, look at all those little houses for the background. It just gives it something cute. So I don't know if you have this stamp set, but if you don't, you really need it. It's adorable. You can make so many different things with it. I used it, I can't remember if it was last month or the month before. I think it was the month before, for my kids' class cards, and it was perfect. They loved them because I think it's something, little kids always draw houses and things anyway, so this was something fun for them, and they were able to color them in and do all those fun things. So it's always just a good option. All right, done with that, So we're going to take some soft suede and some early espresso. And what we're going to do with those is we're going to stamp these little trees. And I'm going to start with soft suede. And I've got just a scrap piece of soft suede cardstock and a scrap piece of crumb cake. And on that crumb cake, we'll do the soft suede tree. And then on that soft suede piece, we'll do the early espresso tree because it's just a little bit darker. And then those get die cut out. So you just use those dies that go with the Coming Home bundle and cut them out. And by magic of video, I already have some cut out. Yay! All right. I know, super excited about cutting those out, right? But hey, it's the little things in life that make me happy. Now, this is going to be really crazy. When I was prepping my card, for some reason, I went ahead and adhered both of these pieces of cardstock together. I have a piece of basic gray, and I'm going to give you the measurements of these real quick because I didn't write them down. So it's 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 for the basic gray, and then the pool party is 3 by 4. So anyway, just use your Tombow glue, your tape runner, whatever you have that you want to use for your adhesive, and put those together. All right, and then we're just going to go ahead and actually just stick this, adhere it right to the card. Basically just center it on your card after you get all your little houses stamped and you get these two pieces stuck together. And the first time I put the card together yesterday, I had it completely crooked. I had to take it apart and re-adhere it on. But because Stampin' Seal is so strong, I ended up ripping the card base and had to make a whole new card base. So keep that in mind. Do your best to get it straight if you're using Stampin' Seal Plus because it's super strong. All right, on here, all I want to do is stamp the little smoke plume or puff, whatever you want to call it. We're going to stamp a lamp in Memento. And we're going to stamp a tree, and then we're going to stamp the sentiment, Happy Fall, Y'all. But before we do that, let's stamp our little house. And you know what the funny thing is? I didn't cut out my little house already. So we're going to stamp the little house, and then we're going to have to cut it out as well. And I'm going to have to walk away for a second to do that. I don't know why I didn't do this. Probably because I wanted to show you the coloring anyway with the Stampin' Blends because I love doing that. It's so relaxing. I don't know how many of you love to color, but it's one of those things from childhood that I have just enjoyed. I still enjoy doing. So Pool Party Dark is what I'm going to use for that roof. And now it's super easy with this brush tip to just fill in one of those lines on the roof for those, I don't know what you would call this roof. It's probably a metal roof or something just by the shape of it. But I don't know. It's not shingles, I can tell you that. It's not shingles, we know. All right, so use Real Red Dark for the door because I just wanted to have a nice red door. I actually thought about using Pumpkin Pie just because it was a fall card and that probably would have been cute too. But I didn't. I just used red because that's a common door color, I guess. Then we don't need soft suede. I don't know why that's in there. Smoky Slate Light. We will use for the house itself. And using that brush tip, we can go over it a couple of times if we want to. And it'll just make the color a little bit darker. But what I love about this is when you're done, you don't see all your lines after you've colored everything in. That is one of the things I love the most about these. And now a lot of times if I'm in a class, because I still take classes, so sometimes with my upline, I take her classes and go in and enjoy myself because I don't know everything and I like to learn new things. So it's always fun to do this kind of stuff. But when everyone is coloring with their stamping blends, it is so quiet. No one is talking because everyone is concentrating on what they are trying to do. And so now I know why teachers were always giving us things to color in when we were kids, because I think it kept us quiet in the classroom when everyone was coloring. So that's my thought on that anyway. All right, so we're just going to color in the windows with So Saffron Light. And I don't know why I showed that to you upside down, but I did. But just again, use that brush tip, or you can use the writing tip because this is not a huge space. That would work too, but it's up to you. And then the last one we're going to use is the So Saffron Dark, but we don't need that yet. That'll be when we put in our lamp. All right, I am going to have to go and cut this out. And I hope my dies are over there because they're not sitting on my desk. Ah! I know I'm kind of yelling from across the room here, but they are. They're right here. Perfect. So I can just, it'll take me 2 seconds to cut this out, come back, and then I can show you how I stamped everything on the front of the card. And this is another reminder that I need to get some type of microphone that I can use so I can do this without sounding like I'm super far away. So I apologize for that. All right, there's our little house. How cute is that? It's just adorable, and it takes no time to get it colored in with those blends. So what I did was I set the house on here first, because if you just try to stamp everything and then you don't have it placed around your house the way you want it, it's not going to look right. So I set the house here, and then I inked up that little plume of smoke first, and then I just pulled the house down just a little bit so I could fit that smoke on there in the house. Otherwise the smoke goes off, and I wanted that, all those little curly cues there. Then I just left it there still. I gotta get my, there we go, my ink to close. And then soft suede for that tree. I didn't go too far away from the house, but a little bit, because I still want to put that lamp post in there. And then we'll use Memento for the lamp post. And I've got to remember I have to let this dry a little bit longer than I did last time, because if you can see, when I colored in the yellow from the lamp post, my Memento ran a little bit, and I think it's the difference between our colored cardstock and our Whisper White cardstock. I think the Memento dries faster on the Whisper White, so just be aware of that. Just let all of this dry a little bit longer. Now we have our little trees, and we're going to be using some Tombow glue. And now, if you haven't bought the sequins for everything, they come in a box, and then you can see I got a loose one. Now these are not, I showed a picture earlier of some sequins that I dropped. These are not the sequins that I dropped. But they come in this little container, and you have 4 little different color schemes. And now, because I figured this would be kind of difficult for me when I'm using those little, you know, the sequins, getting the sequins out of here, I had these little containers that I had bought at the Dollar Tree a long time ago, and I filled them with those sequins, and I figure as they run low, then I can add more in there. But it has worked so far for holding these sequins. Now we also have some little tins that would work. That would actually probably hold all of the sequins. I just don't have those tins here. All right, so before I put these trees on, I just took some glue and just kind of went around, and then I literally just dumped sequins on there. Kind of squished them a little bit, not too much. And then take a scrap piece of paper, and you have to be careful because you don't want a bunch of glue coming off. Oh, forgot my house was still sitting there. And then just dump those extra sequins off, and those can go back into your little jar. if you can get them off the paper. Now they're all static to the paper, so I'm just going to set this aside because I'm going to make a mess again if I don't. And then I've got a few that are just kind of rogue here, which is fine because we're going to use those. So take your trees, flip them over, and then grab a sheet of your dimensionals. And if you have a sheet that you can cut the edges, you can cut a couple of little strips, because you want something on those tree trunks as well as that one was too wide, so I had to. Okay, now they're all stuck to my finger. This really is the best video ever, right? You're like, yeah, she really knows what she's doing. Look at her go. All right. Hi, Eleanor. Hi, Donna. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you popping on to see what's happening in Stampin' Up! World right now today with this cute little tree I'm making. Now, for on the lighter color tree, I put that little piece up just a little bit higher because I'm going to cut a little piece of that trunk off because I want this tree to be a little bit shorter, because not all trees are the same height, and when you're putting them on here, since we only have the one stamp, it's like they all end up the same height, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want them to be a little bit different. Put a mini dimensional up at the top. That'll hold your top. You don't have to do any trimming for that part. And then just take your backings off. You know how fun that is. Get all those backings off. We can get them on there. Now this tree is going to kind of go into the leaves just a little bit. And then this one will go just a little bit taller. And now you can see those little sequins kind of shifted a little bit, and that's okay. And like I said, I have some loose ones, not a problem. We kind of want those loose ones because I'm going to put a couple of little dots in different spots on these trees, and then we'll add some sequins to them for leaves. So any of those little loose ones that kind of popped off, use your take your pick tool. Got to get a little bit more of the adhesive coming out here, and it's being stubborn. There we go. So you can get that little sticky, and then stick those little loose ones on there. And then when we run out of loose ones, then we'll just grab some from the container. Get that one off my finger. I really like, actually, we'll grab some that are right on this piece of paper that we dumped, or where I dumped the excess off. I really love these little pumpkin pie round ones. They're cute for leaves on these trees, I think. They're perfect. Of course, the sticky on your take your pick tool is super sticky, so every time you go to pick these up, they don't. Everything wants to come with them. And now these shiny ones, there's a couple different colors. There's a gold color, and there's more of a champagne color, I guess. I'm not sure. It kind of looks like a champagne color. That's what I'm going to call it. And then just maybe a couple little dots to have some little falling leaves. And then I moved those away too soon because I forgot about my falling leaves. All right, we'll put a little orange one there. I think I need 2 take your pick tools when I'm doing this. That way I can have one in one hand and one in the other. And I actually do have 2, so I could do that. All right. And then just put your lid on here before you dump them like I did earlier with the other ones. Your little house, all we're going to do with that is put some dimensionals on the back. Look, it's got a sequin stuck to the back of that too. These little things are so staticky, it's like they're everywhere. All right. So again, if you don't have the stamp set, it is a perfect little stamp set to use for Christmas, for birthdays, for anything really. It's got that little car in it. It's got pine trees. It's got this tree. It's got a wreath for Christmas. It's just adorable. Line that up with your little smoke plume that we put there. And now that this has dried for a bit, we'll take that So Saffron and we'll just, this is dark So Saffron, and we'll just fill that in We'll let that dry for a second and then we'll fill it in some more. But before we do that, we're gonna take some linen thread. If you don't have linen thread for your projects, you need it. I love linen thread. It's just fantastic. I'm just gonna wrap this around so we can make a bow. But probably should do our sentiment before I do the bow, right? All right, so grab that early espresso again. We'll stamp this in early espresso. And our sentiment is happy fall, y'all. Get that at the top. Take your linen thread, pull it around because we want that bow over here to the left. To the top left. And I always, with linen thread or baker's twine, tie a knot first. Don't try to tie your bow right away because it's just going to come undone. So get a knot in there first. Then you can tie your bow. I have way more success that way with my bows, with linen thread and baker's twine. That's what I'm trying to say and it's not coming out. It's like, do you ever do that? Like the words, like literally, they're on the tip of your tongue and you know what you want to say and it just won't come out of your mouth. Happens to me all the time. And it's not an age thing, I'm pretty sure. I think it's just my brain. Although I guess it could be an age thing too. So glue dots. If you have any of the mini ones from Paper Pumpkin, you can use those. Those are perfect. Just scoop them off. And they're tiny. They kind of roll a little bit when you scoop them off like that. Or you can use one of the regular ones off the mini glue dot roll and just fold it in half. That's these ones here. These ones are much bigger than these tiny ones. You have your little bow. Now you can cut off those tails a little bit. You can use a little bit more, and that's even running still. So I guess it kind of just makes it look like it's glowing. So note to self, I guess on colored cardstock, if this runs a little bit more than it does, you know, bleeds a little bit more than it does on the Whisper White cardstock. So we've learned a lesson today. We learned something new. All right, how cute is that? I love that little fall card. And that really does remind me of something. Obviously, it wouldn't have been this great because I really am not a good at drawing. This is why I stamp, because I'm not a good drawer. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's One Card Wonder Wednesday. I had a great time showing you this fun little fall card. I hope you will join me for my Wonder of Christmas virtual stamping. And like I said, I will put that link at the top of the video. If you want to join, you got to do it by tomorrow. And payment is due by tomorrow as well. So anyway, I hope you will join us. Thank you for visiting me for One Card Wonder Wednesday. I truly appreciate you and that you have chosen me as your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I know there are a lot out there. If you want to buy the supplies for this card, just visit valeriesmith.stampinup.net. Use this host code. It'll be good through about 10 o'clock tonight when I put in my order, and then I'm going to be closing that host code out, and I'll be starting a new host code for October. So have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.